Hey guys, this is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Hey, today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, which is sales. All right, we got a great subject for ourselves, so let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Say howdy and give you a little fist bump. Okay, here we go. Selling extended warranties and more. How to do it. I said selling extended warranties and more. How to do it. That's a real good question. This is a takeoff from one of my videos that I did here in the past. And I'm going to tell you what, a lot of people are interested in this particular subject. Because, see, a lot of companies, they deal with guarantees, extended warranties, maintenance agreements, service agreements, repair agreements, replacement agreements. And if you don't know the fundamentals, it's kind of hard to be able to sell them. So my simple job today is to give you some encouragement, give you a little fist bump and say, hey, listen, you can do this, okay? One of the benefits, first off, for the salesperson is it makes you look good. Besides just selling what you're selling, it also gives you the capability to bring your numbers up. And if you're working on commission, which most salespeople are, you get a percentage. Now, you could be in customer service talking to people over the phone. You could be doing, just a lot of different businesses now sell extended services. And the reason being is warranties are very limited. Generally, they give you about 90 days, sometimes a year if you're lucky. And a lot of times it doesn't really matter because, see, generally what happens is during that time frame, things normally don't break down. But if they do, sometimes you'll have to deal with the company and sometimes they'll replace it. But a lot of times they're going to say, well, did you get the extended service? And if they didn't, it makes you as the salesperson look really, really bad. And it makes the customer feel as though they got taken advantage of. Now, I have bought some things in my past that, I didn't get extended guarantees on, and they broke. And it's like, I scratched my head because it was right out of the time frame that the guarantee was over. And I was like, dang, man, I spent all that money and I was real frustrated. So you may not believe in extended guarantees and warranties, but that's okay. That's your personal business. But for me, I believe in them because I've seen them used over and over and over again for a lot of different people to be able to either replace a product, get an updated product, or just to do the basic maintenance to make sure that the product that they have really works and lasts for a long time. My name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy, and I told you I'd tell you some things that most people won't talk about when it comes to sales. And we're just going to have a basic conversation, and I love sales, okay? So I buy warranties pretty much and guarantees on everything I purchase because I sell them. So when I'm talking to customers, I've got a little bit of skin in the game, so I'm able to have a conversation with the customer and go, yeah, I know it sounds expensive, but let me tell you the benefits and the features. Because if you give them some features and some benefits of what's going to happen, it's going to really help them. And another thing is you got to be honest with these people, because if you don't tell these people these things may break down the road, shame on you. Because, see, you could have given them the choice to make a decision on whether to buy your service agreements or not. And plus, the companies expect you to at least offer this product to the customers because, see, things break. They're man-made, women-made, and if you don't ask, you can't help them. And see, they'll be frustrated. And see, here's the thing. They'll be mad at you, the salesperson, first off. Then they're going to be mad at the company. And then they're going to be mad at themselves because, daggone, I brought a piece of crap. And they may not ever buy from you again because you didn't offer that service agreement. Now, listen, sometimes the service agreements don't get used, but that's okay because, see, you've given them a peace of mind. They reflected. They look at the dollar value. And like I said, some people don't buy service agreements or warranties or replacement guarantees because they just don't believe in them. If you're a salesperson, you better believe in them because, see, that's the backbone of the industry. Why do you think they give limited guarantees, limited warranties, so that we can offer additional services so people can have a peace of mind? The one thing is like insurance. Insurance, people buy insurance, life insurance, but eventually they know they're going to kick off and they know it's going to pay off. And like I said, if you have a product that has a limited amount of time or if you have a service that's limited, you've got to offer those guarantees. Especially like, say, for instance, if you're selling furniture, for instance, electronics, any high-ticket item. They come with a limited warranty, but see, let's just say, for instance, a sofa. If you're sitting in a sofa for over a year or two, it's going to get wore out. You got them kids jumping all over the thing. You got them dogs jumping on it. And if you ain't offering an additional service like a fabric protection for the customer, shame on you. What if it's got mechanisms and things that move? Okay, just like a TV, electronics, they all got moving parts somewhere in there somewhere, boards, electrical boards and stuff, and sometimes them things burn out. And if you got some movement, especially these days, they're doing with the electric, with the chairs, recliners and stuff, you know, if that thing were to go out, now they got a piece of furniture that they can't even use. Now they got to spend all this money out of pocket to have a technician to come out after the warranty's over with and say, hey, can you fix it? And then we either charge them a lot, because, you know, technicians' time when they go out to their house, it costs a lot of money. But if they have a service agreement, they can fit it probably in their budget, fit it in their payment schedule, and at least extend the guarantee out for at least 5 years or more. It depends on what company you work for. And by having that peace of mind, the customer is investing in something. And so with that in mind, if something does go wrong, they rip or tear because they got a guarantee that covered that, they're happy, man, because I've seen it in my own business when I sold furniture for many years, where I had to replace merchandise and furniture, bedding, and things of this nature because they had a guarantee. Now, the ones that really were frustrated are the ones that they didn't have it. And you always ask them, did somebody at least mention it to you? And they go, no, nobody ever did. Now, sometimes they don't, but a lot of times we should. If you've got products, like say, for instance, you've got coverings and stuff that you can offer add-ons to your customers, you know, just a lot of different little things, it behooves you to do it. Because, see, it brings up your profitability for your company, but it also makes sure that in the eyes of the management, they know that you're doing your job and completely. Now listen, if you buy furniture, or if you buy electronics, or if you buy anything, you need to make sure that if you're going to sell the guarantees, that you buy it on your own stuff. Again, you have to have some skin in the game. You have to believe in your product. You have to believe that it's worth their money. And again, here's what I do. You know, I've had like 5, 6, 7, I don't know, so many telephones that have broken over the last couple of years that nobody ever offered me a guarantee. I had to start asking them, do you have guarantees on them? And listen, the reason why is because they get their little kickback when you have to buy a brand new phone. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, people are out there to take advantage of you, but see, here's the key. If you're going to sell guarantees, you need to do it. Don't be afraid to ask for the additional sell. But what I do is when I sell something, I always just talk to them in a nice rapport. You know, we have a little conversation, a little selling conversation. I always mention to them, hey, and by the way, if this were to break on you, oh my goodness, don't worry about it. You won't be any out-of-pocket expenditures, and we'll go ahead and either service it, fix it, or replace it and give you the new technology. And that way you don't have to go out and invest in another one. And see, the key to success in this regard is you don't drop it on at the end. And when you're talking to your customer, you're out there showing them in the showroom, or if you're talking to people over the phone, you just drop those little hints in. Yeah, you know, the last one, what happened to the last one that you had? Oh yeah, it broke. Okay, tell me a little bit more about that. Why did it break? What happened? Well, it got wore out. The kids were jumping all over the dogs. I was using the remote control. It didn't work properly. After a while, the buttons kept getting stuck. You know, the car's transmission went out on me. The doggone tires didn't work properly after so many miles. And there's just a lot of different things that you can bring up and say to the customer, hey, you know, I've been there. I've had some things that didn't work either. But see, here at this company that I work for, we're going to make sure that in a time of need, because like I said, everything's man-made or woman-made, eventually it's going to break, and we're going to have your back. And you're going to say, did you? No. So let me tell you a little bit about it. Let's talk about the product, give them some features and benefit, but let them know they can get a peace of mind by offering additional services. You know, fabric protection, you've got maintenance agreements. Now, a lot of things like tractors and cars and things like that, you can sell maintenance agreements on these particular things to keep the product lasting much, much longer. But you don't drop it in on the customer right when they're getting ready to sign the papers. You have to let them know, hey, listen, this particular tractor, it needs to be maintained at least every 6 months to a year. You want to at least have the oil changed every so often. You want to make sure, you know, you have to follow your procedures. And you also have structural warranties. You know, you can have buildings and houses and things that you sell, and you have these things that happen, the materials break down over so much time. There's a lot of different guarantees and warranties that can really benefit the customer. But one thing I have to remind you guys, you have to believe in what you're selling. You could be working in a store where you have all these different products. For instance, for me, I bought a fan. I've mentioned it before years ago, and I had one for like 8 years from the same box store. But then after a year almost, or a little bit less, the new one that I bought went out, and I paid over $100, and I could have got a brand new one for $5, but I didn't want to do it. I was trying to be cheap and save a little bit of money. So you have to weigh it out. Some people, they want to complain about warranties and guarantees. Oh, I don't believe in that. Well, that's okay. You don't have to. But if you're going to try to sell them, you better believe in them. You know, you have your replacement guarantees, which I really love. If you got replacement guarantees, that means if something goes wrong and they can't repair it, they have to replace it. They're not going to replace it with the old one. They're going to replace it with the new technology. You know, I've been selling electronics and computers, and I've sold all kinds of different products that we have to have a replacement guarantee on it. And the reason being is it's cheaper to fix it. I mean, it's cheaper to give them a brand new one than it is to go out there and fix the old one, because it's just new technology. It changes all the time. You know, extended warranties or you know, they say there's no such thing as a warranty or extended warranty. You don't extend a warranty, you extend a guarantee that what the limited things that are there will be taken care of, because they always give you limited guarantees, limited warranties, because nothing lasts forever. And a lot of times companies, they want you to buy brand new stuff, but they're going to at least give you the opportunity to buy an extended maintenance agreement, service agreement, repair service, and it's just a really good idea. You know, my name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy, and we're talking about selling extended warranties and more. How to do it. First off, you have to believe in it. What I do is I go and I get a bunch of products that have been damaged. Like, say for instance, when I was selling electronics, I used to have all kinds of electronics that had been broken that customers had brought back. We couldn't fix them. We just replaced them and gave them a brand new one. But I would show the clients, these are the things that can go wrong. I also had some, when I was doing furniture and stuff like that, I'd also show them pieces of furniture that would break and have disc problems, and I'd also open them up. I had me a little book I used to carry in my little portfolio when I'm selling all the time. I'll show the customers, hey, these are some things that have happened, and in this regard, this is what we can do about it if something happens, because eventually, you know, stuff does happen, and we want you to have the best buying experience. When you can show the customer that they can benefit when something goes wrong, or if something goes wrong, then you're going to both benefit. And listen, your company's watching you, and they expect you to sell these guarantees. So if you need to watch my videos about selling, especially when it comes to guarantees, warranties, extended warranties, service agreements, and, you know, maintenance agreements and fabric protection, especially if you have furniture, beautiful things. You want to make sure that they last a long time. So you have to get those type of protections. Now, like I said, my name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy, and I've been in sales in one form or capacity since the 80s. And I'm going to tell you what, the people who normally have service agreements are happy customers. The ones who don't, they're miserable, they're mad, they know they got to spend all this extra money out of pocket, and you need to tell them that. Say, listen, you know, I'm here. I know I'm not trying to push a guarantee on you, but I'm going to tell you what, you know, we make fine products. Everybody does, but they all break down. And the reason why we're offering this service agreement to you is to make sure that you're not only happy today, but maybe a year or two down the road, if something goes wrong, that you're going to be happy with me and my company in the future. And you have to relay it to them like that, because it happens. People will be frustrated when they come back in if something's not working right, and they'll say, well, why didn't the guy try to sell me the service? Because he was probably afraid, because they got to sell, and they were afraid to say, hey, listen, ma'am, sir, you need to go ahead and think twice about this, but never sell it at the end. Try to plant those seeds of guarantees all the way through your presentation. You're walking out of the showroom. Oh, isn't that a beautiful sofa? Yeah, and what's wrong with the one you got right now? Oh, it got old. The springs don't work. The mechanisms don't work. The lighting switches don't work. The fan motor don't work. Things break. Bring up those little points about those problems with what they got now, because it makes it easier when you're trying to say, yeah, I know, man, we have a lot of customers who come in here like that. They've had a lot of problems with their equipment. But remember, just remember this one thing, Mr. Customer. if something goes wrong with this, we're going to make sure that you've gotten the guarantee in place that's going to help you in your buying decision, and your just when if something goes wrong, you'll be happy that we talk to you about our services. And then you break it down for them, you ask them, and then you got to ask, so does that make sense? Do you have any other concerns? You have to ask these questions, because see, what will happen is if you've given a thorough presentation, even if it's only about 2 or 3 minutes, you're at your front counter and you're talking to the customer about, your warranty, your guarantee. Don't look at them like, do you want to go ahead and get that? Be excited. Say, hey, look, this is a great product. I'm so glad that you made the decision to purchase this today. But do me a favor. Let me go ahead and tell you what the benefit is of us offering you this service. Because see, here's the thing. You paid $150 for this. If it breaks, we'd like to be able to replace it for you if we can't service it. And so it's only going to be about $10 or $15. And over a lifetime, that's up to 5 years. It's a tremendous savings. Doesn't that sound good? And I go, yes. Or they'll say no. But you have to ask for the order. You have to ask, did you want to go ahead and go with that? Because, see, you're important and you matter. And that's what we are. Even if you're a customer service agent and you're working at a front counter, if you're working over the phone, you're selling. You're selling the company, and you're selling the continuation of a happy customer. My name is Gary Lee Stanley. We just had a very simple conversation about selling, extending warranties, and more, and how to do it. So do me a favor, go out there and sell something, but if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. Extended warranties, maintenance agreements, and service agreements, they all matter. All right.